Hello, and welcome to the Designing with Love podcast. I am your host, Jackie Pellegrin, where my goal is to bring you information, tips, and tricks as an instructional designer. Hello, GCU students and alumni. Welcome to episode 19 of the Designing with Love podcast. In this episode, I will cover 5 key aspects to help you successfully create and manage e-learning courses for your learners. Here are some key statistics I want to share with you to indicate how popular online learning is among learners and organizations, based on an article I found from Delvin Peck. America's online learning industry will be worth approximately $687 billion by the year 2030. 70% of students say online learning is better than traditional classroom learning. 80% of businesses now offer online learning or training solutions. 63% of students in the U.S. engage in online learning activities daily. And finally, online learning and training can improve employee performance by 15% to 25%. Wow, those statistics are amazing, and it shows how popular online learning is within organizations and among learners as well. I have added a link to the article in the show notes, so feel free to check it out for more interesting statistics regarding online learning. The first aspect to consider when you're creating and managing online learning is the development components. This consists of 3 main components, which are content, delivery, and assessment. Content is considered the information and knowledge that you want to teach to your learners. Delivery is the way in which you present and distribute the e-learning content, such as through a web browser, a mobile device, or a virtual reality headset, for example. Assessment is the way you measure and evaluate your learners' progress and performance. Some examples of this can include quizzes, feedback, or certificates. Depending on your target audience and the goals of the training, you will need to choose the appropriate tools and methods for each component. The second area to consider is the software development tools. The development tools can be divided into 2 segments: learning management systems and authoring tools. Learning management systems, known as LMSs, are software applications that enable you to host, organize, and track online courses and how well your learners are performing. Some popular LMSs include Moodle, Canvas, and Blackboard. Typically, an organization or institution already has an LMS selected to make the process seamless when it comes to hosting, organizing, and tracking the online courses. Authoring tools are software applications that allow you to design and develop e-learning content, such as slides, videos, animations, quizzes, and interactive elements. Some examples of popular authoring tools include Articulate Storyline and Rise 360, Adobe Captivate, iSpring, and Lectora. In addition, an organization or institution likely already has an authoring tool selected for developing e-learning courses to help make this process seamless and smooth as well. While you are in your program here at GCU, it can be a bit overwhelming to choose which authoring software to use. The best advice I can give you is to sign up for a free trial of the software when possible. This should help you determine which software you would like to select and use in your classes. The third aspect to consider is software development languages. Depending on the nature of the e-learning content and how it will be accessed by learners, you may need to learn some programming languages such as HTML and CSS. Please keep in mind that for the average e-learning authoring software, the dynamic and responsive aspects are built in for you, so that you do not need to know extensive software development languages to create interactive learning courses. However, if you find that there are jobs out there for instructional design or e-learning development that require or would like to have some of these programming languages that you are familiar with and that applicants have under their belt, you can go out there and you can search for free courses, maybe on Coursera or something similar, and maybe learn some of the basic HTML language. I know when I was in college, I took a class on the internet, and it was in the late 90s, and the internet then was, of course, around, but web development had just taken off and it wasn't really around extensively. And so I had to learn HTML language back then in the late 90s. And one of our projects was that we had to create a website. And so since I was playing tennis in high school and still love tennis today, I created a website all based around tennis, and it was really fun. But when I think back on that and think about what I had to go through to create that web page, it was a lot of work on the back end and having to learn that HTML language. It surely is like learning another language. But just know that now that there's been so many advancements in software, as I mentioned, and those development tools, that they've taken a lot of that guesswork out of it. So that's good. The fourth aspect to consider is software development skills. This includes both technical and non-technical skills. As we know, instructional design is a process of analyzing, designing, developing, implementing, and evaluating learning experiences based on learning principles and best practices. This is the ADDIE model in action, day in and day out. As instructional designers, we should be aware of how to design the best user interface that is user-friendly and attractive, while also improving usability and engagement. Developing successful e-learning courses also involves project management, which includes planning, organizing, executing, and controlling your projects with popular techniques such as Agile, Scrum, and Kanban. So just be aware of those as well, because not only are you having to have a creative side when it comes to how to design those best user experiences, but also project management. I can speak for the fact that as of this recording, I have had 13 years experience as an instructional designer, and I can tell you that having to not only have the creative aspect and having to work on the software, and then also having to use different models and tools such as ADDIE or SAM and the multimedia learning principles is a big part of it. But then also project management is also a big part of it as well. Being able to consult and work with others and making sure that that project is going along smoothly. And if change happens, such as the scope or something like that, that you can be able to take that project and still be able to move forward. You may have to reorganize some things, but you can still be able to move forward. So knowing that there's the technical and the non-technical is so important in this aspect. The fifth aspect to consider is software development resources. Many of these resources offer free materials, templates, and blogs or articles to help you get started. I have added links to the resources in the show notes for you, so you can take a look at those and possibly add them to your ID toolkit. Some of these I actually have in the class websites that I've developed for each of the classes that I teach. So feel free to go to the class website and grab those there. But as I mentioned, I'll have them in the show notes for you as well. So the first one I wanted to mention is eLearning Industry. This is a really popular one. It's an online community with articles published every week about various aspects of e-learning. I'll typically go here quite often, especially if I'm doing a search for something in particular, and the e-learning industry articles will come up quite often. So it's really nice to see that they do keep that up and they publish articles about every week or so from what I've seen. The second one is e-learning from Adobe. So if you decide to use Adobe Captivate or different types of Adobe software such as InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop, things like that, this is a great community. It provides a variety of free materials, including projects, a learning hub, blogs on various topics, and a discussion board. This is one that I I go to quite often myself because I do have Adobe Creative Cloud that I have on my own that I've purchased. So that way I can keep up with the software. And I'm considering now that Adobe Captivate has done an overhaul of their user interface and the software, I might consider going back to Adobe Captivate and using that for a little bit too, because as we know, software changes and technology changes so much. And if we don't keep up with the changes, we can fall behind. So feel free to take a look at eLearning from Adobe. It's a really great resource. The third one is the eLearning Coach. This is a site created by eLearning and instructional design expert Connie Malamed. And I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. I think I am. Connie provides a wealth of information about e-learning and instructional design on her site, including free resources. So make sure to check her out as well. She does go to different conferences throughout the year. So if you're ever at a conference, you can always be on the lookout for Connie as well. So she provides a lot of great resources. She also has a podcast as well called the eLearning Coach. So you can check that out and follow her on there. Finally, I wanted to mention the Rapid eLearning blog. This is a blog site created by Tom Kuhlman at Articulate. And I came across this site just by random chance. And so I've been following this site probably for about 10 years or so. I think that's how long the site's been around. It's been around for a while. And so it's really neat because you can get a lot of great information, and there's tips and tools on there that are really helpful as an instructional designer, especially when it comes to e-learning and the development of that and how to make the most out of your time as an instructional designer when you are developing e-learning. So feel free to check that out too. As a recap, this episode covered development components, tools, languages, skills, and resources to help you successfully create and manage e-learning courses for your learners. I hope you have found this information and the statistics I shared at the beginning of the episode helpful as you embark on developing engaging and interactive e-learning courses for your learners. As I conclude this episode, here is an inspiring quote from Christopher Pappas, the founder of eLearning Industry. And I love this quote. E-learning shouldn't be a casual joyride on a Sunday afternoon with the cruise control engaged. The sole purpose of e-learning is to teach. Thank you for taking some time to listen to this podcast episode today. Please take a moment to like the episode and share it with others so they can learn about this topic as well. Have a great day.